All right. I got Michael Wilhoite in here. All right, before we get to introducing and all that kind of stuff, where we going, bro?
Let's go to Target, man.
Okay, Target it is. All right, so we out here. Go to the store a little bit. Now, look, man. Look, I gotta confess something before we get driving. And over here, we gotta change that music. We gotta get some music. I gotta confess something, man. Here's the deal. I ain't gonna lie, man. You know, when you first came here, I heard that the Seahawks signed you. I was like, oh, man, you know, I know who you are. You played with the 49ers during the time the rivalry was real big. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then when you got here, I was just like, yeah, all right. Then now they come to find out, like, you're like the nicest human being in the world. So I just want to say my bad on that. Man,
I appreciate that.
What was those times like, man, when you was playing for the 49ers and you was playing up against the Seahawks?
It was just that. I mean, we hated the Seahawks. I hated the Seahawks. I hated playing. I love playing against Seahawks, you know, because I knew what kind of game it was going to be. You knew when you played Seattle, and I think they knew when they played San Francisco, it had to be their best game.
Right.
It couldn't be, you know, half-stepping. It couldn't be, I ain't going to watch as much film this week. I'm not going to lift as many weights this week. I'm not going to prepare. You know, you had to prepare for a championship game, you know. And that's one thing, you know, Pete preaches here is every week is a championship week. And playing Seattle was definitely a championship week for us. And now that I'm here, I'm starting to see that everybody that plays us, this is their championship week. You know, everybody wants to beat Seattle because that's the, you know, you want to measure straws, right. You want to measure yourself. How do we perform against Seattle Seahawks?
So you disliked us as much as we disliked you.
Yeah,
Because make no mistake about it, we disliked you. So,
yeah, for sure.
So let me ask you this: tell us a funny experience that you had during those times, like whether it was a game, a Seahawks game, with Seahawks 49ers. Any experience you remember from that?
A moment.
Yeah.
When Navarro Bowman got hurt, NFC Championship game.
Oh, that's
here in Seattle. And the reason why I remember it so well was because I had never played against Marshawn Lynch before. And I had told one of our strength coaches before that game, I said, man, I wish I could play against Marshawn just to see where I'm at. Just see what kind of man I am, you know, just to test my fortitude, you know. Am I really about that life?
Right.
You know, so I kind of wanted to, you know, experience that. And lo and behold, you know, unfortunately, Navarro got hurt. A tragic injury, freak accident, you know, tore his knee all up. And next thing you know, I'm in the game. Okay. And it was funny because when he got hurt, I'm literally on the sideline and I see the bottom of his cleats. He's laying down, you know, so you can see the bottom of his cleats. And I knew exactly what his cleats looked like, and I knew right away. I said, that's Navarro. Wow. You know, and I was, you know, obviously I was heartbroken first because, you know, this is a leader of our team, you know, one of the best players in the NFL at the time. I thought he was the best linebacker in the league at the time, you know. And the next thing you know, I'm in there playing against Marshawn Lynch. Wow. You know, so yeah, that was, you know, but there's plenty of moments I had with this team and that rivalry at that time, man, that I remember.
So Jim Harbaugh was your coach, and you know, again, he kind of helped with the whole rivalry. What was that like? Share with us a Jim Harbaugh story.
This is a good one. I always share this with people because it just kind of lets you know how much he cared about the players and the kind of person he was. So we had lost to the Rams in the regular season. Okay. It was an overtime game in San Francisco, and we lost, and we were devastated. You know, it's a divisional game. We always preach divisional games were ×2. You know, if you win that game, it's like winning 2 games. You lose that game, it's like losing 2 games. Okay. You know, because of the importance it is in the division. And, you know, you win the division, you're home field in the playoffs. Well, we had lost the game, and we came in for the team meeting, you know, and Jim never yelled at us or scolded us or cussed us out. He just he's not that type of guy, you know. But, you know, he'll get on you, but he's not going. But he came in there, and he said, you know, I've been noticing guys, you know, in the NFL practice, you know, you have offense works against scout team, defense works against scout team. So when offense is going, defensive starters are sitting on the sideline, right, basically talking about their game plan or what they're going to do when they go up. You know, so he said, I've been noticing a lot of guys, when offense is going or defense is going, the opposite is just, either taking the knee on the sideline or sitting on the coolers. And I think that could just be hard on you guys' backs and stuff. So I talked to the owners and stuff. I think what we're going to do is we're going to put benches out there during practice. We're going to put benches around the field so you guys can sit down on the benches.
Right.
This is after a loss, and literally next week, benches was out there. When offense was up and defense wasn't going, all the starters, at that time I was on scout team, so I never got to experience the benches.
Right.
But the starters were sitting on the benches, and we rolled with that, and that's the same year we went to the Super Bowl.
Wow.
And that same year we started off 1-2. And it just goes to show, man, and when it's early in the season, it's early in the season. And this thing is the long haul.
Right. So now you're here in Seattle. Now, do you have kids?
I have one daughter.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
How old is she?
6 months. She just turned brand new.
6 months. What's that like for you, man?
An incredible blessing. It's undescribable. I try to tell. It's funny because before you have kids, people always tell you, you're. It's a feeling that you've never felt before. It's a love that you can't imagine. And people tell you that, and you kind of try to imagine it and stuff like that. But until you have a child of your own, you can't understand that.
Right.
And so it's an incredible blessing. I try to give her all the attention I can. I love her with all my heart. And I'm gonna try to be the best dad in the world. I'm gonna try to do everything I can to raise her to be the best woman she can be.
Right. So being a parent, I'm a parent now. You are a parent. Mm-hmm. I gotta be honest, man. Lately in our world right now, we've been having a lot of bad, tragic incidents. Mm-hmm. It feels like the last couple months we've had some unforeseen things that are starting to happen. Michael, how do you cope? I know certain people do different things. I know myself. I know I'm personally having more conversations with my sons, and then your daughter can't talk. But how do you cope right now during some of these hard times?
I think the best thing to do is look to God. I try that most of all, and everything I do is pray, thank Him for everything. Try to understand that there's a bigger picture. Try to feel comforted by Him, knowing that He has a plan, that all I have to do is continue to look to Him, put my hands together, get on my knees, and He's gonna take care of me no matter what. That's all. I feel like at this point, that's all you can do, because you don't want to live your life in fear. I don't want to say like, I'm never going to go to Las Vegas again. Right. But at the same time, in the back of your head, it's like that could have been any one of us in Vegas. I'm sure most of these people watching, us talking, we've been to Vegas, and we've been to parties, and to say that we could have been one of those people there when that man just started lighting up that crowd, that's devastating, right. But at the same time, you don't want to live your life in fear. You don't want to live your life as if negative's always going to happen, or, you can't go outside because you're scared. You have to live your life, in the hands of God and in faith, saying that if I hate to say this like this, but I've always kind of felt like this, but if it's my time to go, like, I can't control that. Sure. That's a higher power to me. Sure. That's not in my hands. So I can't say, no, I'm not going today, because that's not in my hands. So that's the best way that I handle it. I deal with it. Obviously, I talk to, my family about it, and we converse about it and stuff. But at the end of the day, talking is just talk.
Absolutely.
And reality is reality. And reality situation is, like you said, there's a lot of things going on. It's a lot of, I want to say, shifts in minds, a lot of conversations taking place that is good. Right. I think that, one thing I said about Colin Kaepernick is his mission has been accomplished in the sense that everybody's talking about this. He may not have a job right now, but in the conversation I had with him last year, it was, if I don't have a job based on getting this mission accomplished, then that is what it is.
I'm glad you bring up the Colin Kaepernick. Mm-hmm. We saw what he started last year. We see the conversation still going. Can you go back to the first time you met Colin Kaepernick? Would you have ever imagined that he would be the one to do this?
No. Well, yeah, no. If I say the first time I met him, no. The first couple of years I played with him, no. Honestly, no. I would say no, man, because he really wasn't about that at that time.
Right.
You know, I watched him in the course of 5 years, 6 total, but 5 years really kind of like grow and change and kind of figure out who he wanted to be and who he was as an individual. And I think that happens for everybody at a certain point in their life.
Right.
And, there's, one of the coaches today was talking to me about it, and he was like, well, last couple of years he was there, he kind of struggled. Everybody says he should be on the team and he's a baller, but the last couple of years he kind of struggled. And it's like, I watched him, the year he struggled the most, I saw him go through a change mentally, and spiritually. And I think that was kind of like he was just trying to find himself. And once he found himself, he was the man. I thought last year he played great based on what he had on the field with him. Sure. We didn't have a great cast of people on the field last year, and that's just including myself. That's and everybody was on the field. We just weren't great. It is what it is, and it's hard to have, a great cast in the NFL, but I just feel like once he found out who he was, he became a great leader of men in that locker room last year. I feel like he was respected by his teammates. And I mean, in my eyes, how can you not respect a man that's willing to put his life, his career, his family, everything on the line for a principle?
Right.
And the principle is strong, and the principle should be there, and it is definitely flawed in my eyes, but that takes guts. Mm-hmm. That takes a real type of fortitude to do that.
I hear you speak as if you've gone through something. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, when you came out of college, Washburn, right? When you came out of there, you didn't get drafted, did you?
No.
And you went into the USFL? Or is that?
To UFL.
UFL, yeah, UFL. Yep. You played football. What did that experience do for you?
Well, it was like a research project for me. One, I was a safety all through college. Played mostly, they called it outside linebacker there. It was basically like what Cam plays in our defense.
I heard you play some quarterback too.
In high school. High school.
Okay.
But, in that time of when I was in the UFL, all I did was ask questions. We had a bunch of guys that had either played in the NFL and got injured. I mean, guys that were former first-round picks that played in the NFL 6, 7, 8 years and just were kind of old at that point and just didn't have, what it took to play in the NFL, or the NFL thought that.
Right.
Guys that had got injured 3 and 4 and 5 times in their first 2, 3 years, so the NFL kind of gave up on them.
Right.
So it was like they were all trying to go get that film that they needed to send back to the NFL and say, look, I still have it. Mm-hmm. Or, I'm healthy now, so I can play. And so what I did was just write down everything they was telling me. I was asking question after question. I had just started playing linebacker, so I was trying to learn how to play the position. I'm asking questions. What do I look at? What am I supposed to be seeing here? Where do I line up in this formation? What is cover two? And in my college, we didn't really have coverages like that.
Right.
So I didn't even know what a hook drop was per se. So for me, I just tried to learn. I just opened my mind and tried to learn everything. And one thing my mom always told me as a kid that I've always stuck by is there's no such thing as a bad question. And so I've always asked lots of questions. Even if I feel like I do know, I'll ask just to be sure.
Sure.
And so for me, it was just a research project. At the time, I was heavy into the Word. I was reading the Word every day. That team was very spiritual. We had a lot of Bible studies. We had a lot of books we were reading and passing around to each other. And, for me, it was just like a real growth process.
Sure.
I just told a guy on the team yesterday, when I got in the NFL, I was 24 years old. Whereas like a lot of these guys get in 21, 22. Yep. So I'm 30 now in my 7th year, where most guys, when they're 7th year, they're probably 28, 29, 27. Well, for me, I'm glad it happened that way.
Right.
Because I don't know if I was ready to have this type of attention, to have this type of work ethic at that, you know, in order to be successful at this level when I was 22, 21. You know, I don't think I was ready, you know, and to me, going back to, you know, talking about the word and talking about God, I felt like what he was trying to tell me, because it was funny, because during the lockout and when I didn't get drafted while I was in the UFL, I knew in my head I can play in the NFL. Sure. And all the guys around me that had been in the NFL were telling me, bro, you should be in the NFL. You shouldn't be here. You're too athletic. You're too smart. You know, you're too explosive. You need to be in the NFL. Oh, sorry.
Uh-oh. That's all right.
It's probably my mom, man.
Uh-oh.
She just got off.
Man, go ahead.
She just got off the...
Go ahead and answer. Is that your mom?
No. It didn't.
Oh, okay. Okay.
But yeah, so for me, I felt like, you know, I needed to develop a better relationship with God, or a better line of communication with him, for him to say, you're ready. Sure. Here, now you can have this, you know. And until I did that, you know, he made me go through some extra steps, you know, UFL, working, you know, at Finish Line, working at Red Lobster. You got to do these things in order to be at this level, if that's the case.
Oh, that's where you was working?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Finish Line, Red Lobster?
Yeah, Red Lobster.
Hey, them cheddar biscuits? Let me get them cheddar biscuits, baby. And folks, if you've never had them cheddar biscuits at Red Lobster, change your life. Okay. All right, we need some music, man. We want to know, what does Michael Wilhoite be jamming to in his car? This is what we do. Cliff Averill, he jams to Usher. Justin Britt did some Zach Brown band, and he likes to listen to Boosie. What do you like to listen to?
I'm a Jay-Z guy.
Okay.
You know, I'm a big Jay-Z guy. I've been a Jay-Z guy since I was young.
Okay.
One of these songs I really like to listen to is called Success. It's Jay-Z and Nas. And you know, the first line. Here, let me start it over.
Start.
We got to hear the first quote.
Okay.
Frank, success took a shot. What are you gonna do now? Are you gonna kill him? You gonna become unsuccessful? Frank, you can be successful in Atlanta business. Be unsuccessful too. Look at our friends. I got this, Breezy.
So
don't worry about it.
So the quote, you know, he's talking about success, and he's like, you know, success. It's from the movie American Gangster.
American Gangster. Yes.
This is the album American Gangster.
Right.
And you know, if anybody can recall, Frank Lucas was shot at, and he's the main character, and Frank Lucas is mad. You know, right. I came to you. I forget the guy's name. He was a mob boss or whatnot down in Kansas City. He was supposed to be protecting Frank, and he said, "You guaranteed my safety. These men took a shot at my wife." You know, and he replies to Frank Lucas, and he says, "That's just success. You got all these houses, all this money, these mink coats, these top hats. Right. People are coming for you. People are gunning for you.
Yeah.
So, you know, you could be successful and have some enemies, or you could be unsuccessful and have friends." And you know, I just like the song because I feel like it puts a microscope on success, in the sense that, you know, sometimes in order to be successful, you're gonna have to let some of the friends that you grew up with, or some of the friends that are in your life that are holding you back, you know, you got to let them go.
Yes,
in order to feel all of what success is.
Yes,
you know, to reach your potential. You know, and so.
Well, we're gonna play a game real quick. I was thinking. Here's the game. You need to hire a service, a different service for different things.
Okay.
The people that you need to hire are your current teammates on the Seattle Seahawks.
Okay.
So here it is. You need to hire, and you can only pick one. So I'm gonna give you the different little areas. The first topic is gonna be, you need to hire somebody for financial advice. What teammate would you pick?
Financial advice. I think I would have to go with KJ.
KJ Wright.
Yeah, KJ Wright.
Okay, all right. He seems a little balanced.
Yeah. You know, I like KJ in the financial world because I know he's not a big spender.
True. Okay.
And I also know that he has like some endeavors outside of football.
All right.
That he works with, and you know, he's a modest guy. I feel like our personalities kind of work together, so I just feel like I could trust his decision making.
Fair enough. Fashion advice. Who would you pick for fashion advice?
Oh man, that would have to be Cam.
Cam Chess?
Yeah, I like Cam.
Always wins this award.
Does he really?
Yes, man.
Well, then let me change it then.
No, it's cool. Cam, I don't hate on Cam. Cam been winning this award since, I mean, he came here 2010. Yeah, man.
I'm surprised.
Cam all good looking and stuff, man. Look good, built good.
Know,
he just got such a style to himself.
Does anybody ever pick Jay Lane?
No, Jay Lane be pushing the envelope a little bit.
That's he goes a little too far for me.
Hey, Jay Lane be good, he pushed too far. Okay, relationship advice.
Relationship advice? Dang, that'd be tough. I would say KJ again.
Yeah, he does a pretty good job.
I would say KJ again.
Does a really good job. Man, if KJ watches this, man, you sure get love today. Yeah. All right, you need a chef that's going to cook for you. Who on the team could you have come cook for you? Who can cook? You know what I mean?
Who could cook? If I was guessing who could cook, I would say G-Baby, Garrison Smith.
Okay.
I'm gonna go with G-Baby. I'm gonna go with him because he's from Atlanta, so he's gonna cook something good from the South.
Right.
And then two, so I know he knows what's good.
Okay.
And then two, I went out to eat with him a few times, and I just like his selection. You know, I feel like he always has a good selection.
You know, that's funny. That is a good. That's something. You go out to eat with somebody, you be like, man, they know what they're doing when they order.
Yeah.
Okay, last one. I was thinking, who would be somebody that would be your life coach? Somebody that you can call on once a week to get that good, you know, just your life coach. It don't have to be spiritual, but just somebody to keep that energy going.
Man.
KJ can't win this award.
I can't give him three. I can't give him three.
No, man.
I can't give him three. I would say Bobby then. I would say Bobby.
Bobby?
You know,
okay.
I enjoy, you know, one thing about Bobby that I like is Bobby goes off vibes. You know, Bobby.
And that's Bobby Wagner, everybody.
Yeah, Bobby Wagner.
Okay.
He goes off vibes. He goes off of his feeling, you know, how people feel around him, and
he does. He does.
And I think that he gives, and he's one, to keep his composure. He's two, to keep to be confident, and he's three, to listen. You know, right. And one thing about somebody that you want advice from, you got to find somebody who's a good listener, and they can place themselves in your shoes. And so, only thing about Bobby is you got to get to know him first.
Oh yeah, trust me.
Because Bobby won't give you advice if he don't know you.
No, he won't.
He ain't gonna say nothing to you first.
He gonna be real short with you.
Yeah.
I just got cool with Bobby. I've been knowing him since he was a rookie. So trust me, I understand with Bobby.
Like you almost gonna think he's rude, but he's not. He just gotta know you first.
100%.
But
here's one for you. I gotta know about the beard, man. Like let me be honest, man. I just be like, man, I do. And then, like I said, I'm getting to know you. I'm like, man, Michael Wilhoite is like the coolest human being you'll ever meet. What made you grow the beard out, man? It looks good.
Okay, so every year during the season, I've grown it out, but like 1 year since I've been in the NFL. And so I usually start growing it about August, September.
Okay. And
I cut it off in December or when the season's over. 2 years ago, I grew it out. I started growing it early, like in the spring. And I grew it out all season. It got real big. And man, when the season ended, I just liked it. And I was like, man, I like it, man. I can't cut it off. I can't do that to myself. I gotta let it go.
Right.
You know, and so I just let it go, and then now it's just kind of like became like, you know, who I am. It's just like, you know me, you know, Michael Wilhoite, the guy with the beard, right?
Yeah, man.
You know, and you know, and I mean, not everybody can, you know, I always get, well, I can't grow this, and not everybody can grow this. So it's like, you know, and I ain't got no hair on my head, so I might as well take advantage of what what God has given me, right? You know, what sets me apart. So no, I just like it, man. I like the way it looks. I like, it gives me a little something extra. So,
All right, I gotta share something with you, man. I'm like, and some folks know this about me. I got like the worst luck when it comes to the dating world. And so I thought, and then I'm sure that there's some people out there that might, need some advice too.
Yeah.
So I was just thinking, I'll ask you a few questions. Maybe you can help me out a little bit. Let me ask this, man. Is it a good idea or a bad idea to take somebody and meet somebody for coffee for a first date? What's your thoughts on that?
I think that's a good idea.
That's a good idea?
Yeah. I mean, because, so much nowadays is like, we skip the coffee, we skip the dinner, and it's like you just want to hang out or you just want to go eat dinner. I just think coffee is like a real good time to be able to sit with somebody and learn about them. Okay. If you really want to learn about somebody, why not do it over coffee? Okay. Because then you're talking.
Right.
You're not eating. Your mouth ain't full. You ain't worried about spilling food on you.
Right.
You ain't in a loud restaurant.
Plus, it ain't a lot of money.
And that too. And it's cheap for both people. It's doable.
Now, I think I did this before. Now, it was all right. Is it a good idea or a bad idea to take somebody to a sporting event for a first date?
That's tough because it's fun. It's fun. You're going to have a lot of fun, but at the same time, you're not really going to talk a whole lot. I mean, you will, but I mean, I would say it's a good idea. I wouldn't say it's a bad idea because, I mean, it won't hurt to do it. Right. I just think there's better options like coffee.
Now, is it a good idea or a bad idea to dress up a little bit on the first date?
I think it's a good idea.
All right.
I mean, if I was going to go get coffee or I was going to go get dinner with somebody, I would put on like some jeans and a nice shirt.
Okay.
I wouldn't put on, I wouldn't wear a suit or, slacks or nothing like that. But I'm going to put on some nice jeans and a nice shirt. I mean, you want to be presentable. And, first impression, some people say is everything.
Okay.
So, why not make a good impression? Show them that you're clean, you smell good, you have good, you have good body odor, good hygiene,
Okay, good idea or bad idea to bring flowers?
I'm gonna say good idea. I don't think that's a bad idea. I think now it depends on the flowers. Obviously you don't want to bring roses.
Oh, see, I don't even know the difference. Help me, I do. Oh, so I don't want to bring no roses.
Yeah,
right?
You don't want to bring a dozen roses. That's something you take to Valentine's Day. That's something you take to 4th, 5th, 6th date.
Okay.
Okay. But on the first date, you can say, hey, I saw these flowers. I just thought you might like them. I just wanted to show you my appreciation for you to spend this time with me on this first date. Why not? Some yellow, orange, some light blue, some colorful flowers that bright, it'll put a smile on her face. It should. If it don't, then she got, you might not want to be on a date with her.
I'm telling you right now, if my dating advice, if it starts to work, it's all because Michael Wilhoite helped me. And last, before we get done with this ride, my man, the last thing is how's Seattle? How has you been here in Seattle? How has Seattle been for you? What do you like about this place?
The Seahawks. I mean, I'm gonna keep it 100 with you. I'm a homebody, so for me, I was in San Francisco for 6 years. I didn't drive across the Golden Gate Bridge till my 3rd year there. I didn't even see it till like my 2nd year there.
What you be doing in the house, man?
Studying. I watch film. I take care of my body. I sleep.
You be watching Netflix.
Watch movies. I watch lots of movies. I love watching TV shows. Man, I'm just, during the season, I'm locked in, man. It's hard to really get out like that. And since I've been in Seattle, it's basically I've been locked in here. Okay. So I went into the city a little bit.
You ever been to Pike Place?
No.
Come on. If y'all listening right now, get Michael Wilhoite out the house. You ever been to Pike Place or nothing like that?
What's Pike Place?
Pike Place Market, downtown. Have you been to the Space Needle?
No.
Oh, come on.
I'm disappointed, huh?
Yeah, I hope now wait.
But
what's that?
But I do love all the green. I love the scenery, the vibes here.
Yeah,
you know, it's real calm, it's real chill. The water's beautiful. It's like everywhere you go, every turn you make onto a highway, it's like, oh, there's the water again.
Yeah.
I'm driving next to the water again. And then you got all these beautiful trees, you know, and the diversity and the people here. You got all different types of races here and religions. I love that. You know, I'm big in, like, you know, meeting different people and talking to different people and asking different questions. So I love that about Seattle. That's one thing, you know, in the little bit I've seen in Seattle, you know, this is a place that I would make a home.
Oh,
you know,
okay,
you know, because it's so chill, so calm. You know, everybody rags on the weather. To me, this is good weather. I'm from Kansas, where it gets to -7.
Ooh,
so here in Seattle, where it might get to like 30, and it's just gonna rain a little bit. That's not that bad.
Okay, here's what I got one more bonus question.
Okay,
we're almost back. One more bonus question. You played against the Seahawks, and you know about the rivalry between the Seahawks and the 49ers. What one player did you have an opinion about from afar, but when you got to the team, you learned otherwise? Like,
probably have to be Cam
Chancellor. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, go ahead. Explain that.
I would say it wasn't negative. It wasn't like I didn't like him. I just thought he would be very vocal. You know, a very vocal, yelling, loud guy. You know, because on the field, that's how he plays. He plays very loud, you know, in a positive way.
Right.
You know, he sticks out on the screen. You notice Cam, you know. You notice the dark visor. You notice the black cleats, the black gloves. He probably don't even know, but I done noticed that he wears that every game. And you notice the way the physical hits and the physicality he brings to the table. So, but then when I got here, he isn't real talkative. You know, he's not very vocal, and he can talk.
But when he does say something, it's not a wasted breath.
Exactly.
It's to the point.
And I like that. I like people like that. I've never been a fan of somebody who talks a lot.
Right.
You know.
Oh, thanks, Michael. I appreciate it. I'm sorry.
Well, if it's your job, if it's your job, it's your job. You got to do what you got to do.
Right.
But no, I always, you know, I that's one thing, you know, it took my respect level, because I already respected him for the way he played and the way he carried himself on the field. But now that I see him off the field and the way he carries himself just through the meetings and through the hallways, it took my level of respect, you know, through the roof for him, because he's gonna say what needs to be said, and he's gonna listen, and he's gonna talk to everybody, whether you're a practice squad, whether you're a new guy, whether you've been here for years. He treats everybody the same, and he just seems like, you know, he gives everybody the same respect, and you can't, you know, you have to love that about him.
Right. Well, Michael, man, I really appreciate you jumping in on Driving with G.
Yeah, this was fun.
Yeah, man, really appreciate it, man. And I hope everybody out there gets to learn about you. And, man, get out a little bit. You can't just watch Netflix all winter. Get to the Space Needle. Get the Pike Place Market.
Pike Place Space Needle. I'm going to get to them, too.
Yeah,
I'm going to get to them, too, first, and then we'll work from there.
All right, man. That's Michael Wilhoite,
I appreciate
everybody.
you,
Yes,
G.
sir. Yes, sir.
Thank you.